Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boxing Officials Training Channel. This is Armando Garcia, and today we continue our comprehensive judge training and review with Part 3, Practical Applications and Round Outcomes. Let's begin. The competition period. We begin Part 3 by defining the scoring window. For the start and end of the round, scoring begins and ends exactly with the bell. No scoring credit is given for anything that occurs immediately after the bell. Likewise, outside the round, during the 1-minute rest period, deductions apply only to fouls that occur during the round, and there is no scoring during the rest period itself. We separate deductions from the actual round action. Post-bell incidents, meaning anything that happens after the bell rings to end the round, is managed only by the referee. As judges, and unless there is a clear rule or directive from the boxing authority, judges do not record a deduction for a foul that occurs during the 1-minute rest period. The referee has the authority to issue strong admonishments or even disqualify a fighter for egregious conduct between rounds, but they cannot order a point deduction for that action because one round has ended and the next has not yet begun. Clearly, it behooves judges to know the related rules governing these situations for their fights. This is important for mistaken deductions. If you witness a referee ordering a point deduction after the bell for a foul that occurred outside the scoring window, your job is to cordially ask the referee to check with the supervisor, stating that the action occurred outside the competition period. The supervisor will provide the final direction on how to proceed. Judges should not complete their scorecard until receiving their direction. Here we clarify the distinction in scoring a bout that is stopped prematurely. The rule is divided by the 4-round threshold. First, if a bout ends mid-round due to an injury, accidental foul, other than a low blow, or other cause, before 4 rounds are completed, the bout is declared a no decision, and that partial round is not scored. Second, if the bout ends after 4 completed rounds, judges must score that partial round. Your score based only on the action that occurred during the competition period right up to the stoppage. If there was little or no meaningful action before the stoppage in that partial round, the round may be scored 10-10 depending on the exact situation, but judges should always strive to determine a winner. We now move to legal knockdowns. Impact matters. A legal knockdown is significant and establishes a base 10-8 score. The absolute rule is that a down boxer cannot win the round. The best score they can earn is 9-10. And this is only possible if they clearly outbox their opponent in the other segments of the round. Modifying the 10-8 score is extremely rare. A 10-8 round score may only be reduced to 10-9 in cases where the boxer showed clear, sustained superiority over the majority of the round before and after they got up. To be clear, the 10-8 score is not automatic. Judges must score the entire round. Your judge's evaluation must cover the action before and after the knockdown. You must distinguish between a flash knockdown, one with minimal impact, versus a damaging one, and consider the overall control, effectiveness, and duration shown by each boxer throughout the full 3 minutes. Knockdowns at the bell are the major exception to our scoring window rule. If a knockdown occurs exactly as the bell rings, the referee must continue the count, and judges are required to follow that ruling and score the outcome, even if the count runs past the 3-minute mark. This obligation extends even to a mistake count. If the referee mistakenly begins a count after the bell, you must still follow the ruling. As judges, you are procedurally bound to score the outcome of that count in the round, even if the action leading to it was technically outside the scoring window or was incorrectly called by the referee. In cases of offsetting knockdowns, the first principle is that the round is not automatically even. You must strive to find a winner. You must actively evaluate the round by answering several questions. Which knockdown had the greater effect? Who controlled the round overall? and who landed more consequential fair blows before and after the knockdowns. This comprehensive evaluation, which includes considering any point deductions, is what determines the score. Generally, this process leads to three possible scores: 10-10 if the action was truly equal, 10-9 for the boxer with the superior action, or maybe even 10-8 if one knockdown was so much more damaging than the other, and then that same scoring boxer dominated the round. Having discussed 10-8 scores involving knockdowns, we now cover the one scenario that produces a 10-8 without a knockdown. Excluding a point deduction, this is the only scenario for a 10-8 without a knockdown. It requires clear, sustained superiority based on the 3D standard: dominance, damage, and duration for most of the round. Note the consideration: a brief, strong finish does not qualify. However, one single damaging sequence may justify 10-8 if the superiority is overwhelming. For the rarest of scores, a 10-7 round, for example, requires a knockdown plus clear, sustained dominance or multiple knockdowns. A 10-6 round is extremely rare, typically requiring multiple knockdowns plus a foul or fouls and or near complete dominance. The rule is to never score below 10-6. Only use extreme scores when the round shows complete, overwhelming superiority and these referee factors. Let me now set the stage for you for a masterclass demonstration by Roberto Durán. I came across a phenomenal video by Fight City a while back focusing on the great infighting skills of the legendary Durán. This is only a portion of that great video. In viewing this, it became clear that this footage is a perfect teaching tool. The application here is that it flawlessly demonstrates all four of our scoring criterion working together. We will use this video as the benchmark for understanding the complete picture of dominance before discussing the specific scores that reflect it. Let's watch the video. We just witnessed the Roberto Durán Masterclass video. This is not just a highlight reel for fans or even one for up-and-coming fighters. It is also a lesson to help judges identify the scoring criteria. The application here is that the video demonstrates all 4 scoring criterion working together. And now, our future focus is to clearly watch for the fair blows in close range, the effective aggression, the ring generalship, and the active defense turning into counters in all our future fights. As previously stated and as we saw in the video, effective aggression is not swarming, chasing, or hovering. Effective aggression is what Durán showed us. Purposeful pressure, leaning in and staying in front, pinning opponents against the ropes and securing the crucial inside position by muscling his arms out and denying the opponent the space needed to throw wide shots while trying to score fair blows. Now let's take a look at fair blows. We reward short, consequential punches, the uppercuts and shovel hooks thrown from the inside. Your main judge's note here must be that these seemingly small punches may be and usually are as effective than visible power shots throughout the round, as they constantly disrupt the opponent's rhythm and cause damage. Let's now discuss ring generalship and active defense. This was demonstrated by Durán when he actively dictated terms by reversing the action, such as flipping Benitez in the corner. Remember, this control is not just up against the ropes or in the corner. It can also be in center ring. It's about reversing vulnerable situations into offensive opportunities regardless of the location. The video also demonstrates active defense, and this active defense that we saw meets the 2-part rule. Durán uses a tight guard, blocking incoming shots with his elbows and forearms, but critically, he immediately counters with uppercuts and even hooks of his own. This shows defensive tactics turned into scoring opportunities. The video confirms your final key takeaway. The supporting criterion are not separate boxes. We saw that ring generalship, pinning, creates the space for effective aggression. Pressure, that is a good example. And finally, we saw active defense, blocking, slipping, simultaneously allowing fair blows, the counter uppercuts and hooks, to land. Your judge's focus is now honed. Think of how each element contributed to the consequential fair blows and transfer that understanding to your future fights. All right, wow. This concludes part 3, practical applications and round outcomes. We have now thoroughly covered the structure, the rules for knockdowns, extreme scores, and how all 4 criterion must work together as one unified system as demonstrated in the Durán video. The next step is the most important, applying this methodology in real time. Please proceed with part 4, analysis rounds. In this module, you will score 12 separate distinct rounds from various fights from different decades, and then we will analyze them after we see them. Remember, the numbering for these is sequential: analysis round 1, analysis round 2, and so on to track your progress, regardless of the original fight number. Your goal is to use the framework we have just established to find the winner of every round and watch how one judge, one round can change boxing history. We'll see you in part 4.